Let's light a lighter. Let's light a lighter for Bruno Lage, the former Wolves coach. Yes, Bruno Lage has been fired by Wolves. Man, football will surprise you. Like, football will surprise you. And if you think about it, this season, the coaches who have been dismissed are not the coaches everyone expected to get the sack first. If you think Tuchel at Chelsea, you think the British guy who was coaching Bournemouth, who got them up from the Championship. You think Bruno Lage. Last season, Wolves had a good season. And they looked deadly. They looked like a rejuvenated side. But then now, those three are gone. And you think, for me personally, I thought Brendan Rodgers was going to be fired. I thought Lampard was going to go. I thought Steven Gerrard might be in danger of getting fired. And they're still in the job. Like, football will surprise you. So this is for Bruno Lage. At least he gets to get millions out of this deal. But then, man, football is something else, man. So, one more time for Bruno Lage. Hope he enjoys and gets the next job, and we'll see him soon back coaching a good team again. Anyway, guys, welcome to MRM Sports. I'm your host, Ronald M. Time to react to Magic 9, man. Time to react to Magic 9, man. If a Manchester United or Spurs fan, it is that time to talk about the disaster your team's pulled. They were so outclassed, man. The North London derby, the Manchester derby, the perfect weekend with Chelsea winning, of course, so it was an extra good weekend. But the perfect weekend to see counter-attack football being crumbled. Because when you think about it, the teams that master counter-attack football, the best counter-attacking side in the Premier League right now, Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur, they both crumbled. It was as if the master and the protege, Pep and Arteta, came up with a game plan. I think they shared notes on how to defeat these teams, man. What a perfect weekend. Football won. Because, you know, the Premier League is always posted as the competitive league in Europe. And when you think about it, we all want to see that kind of football where it's only attack and attack. So for Man United and Spurs to lose, to show us that counter-attacking football is no longer the it thing, man. Because I genuinely thought like Man U and Spurs would get chances in those games. I genuinely thought with the counter-attack, but then you have to give it out to Arteta and Pep. Okay, with Pep we expected a bit more, but then for Arteta to actually nullify Conte like that, like properly nullify Conte like that. I think we'll start with Arsenal versus Spurs, man, because Arsenal are at the top and we have to give them the respect they deserve. For Arsenal to nullify Spurs like that, I genuinely have to give it to Arteta. And for me, Saliba is at the moment is the best defender in the Premier League. For me, there's no arguing about it anymore. I mean, for him to actually, you can see the way he was bossing that defense. And it's not like he's bossing players who don't know how to play. He's bossing Ken, Son, and Richarlison. For me, Arsenal is a different beast this season. I'm starting to get worried. As a Chelsea fan, you know, for us to always say we're the biggest team in London, that's starting to worry me now, because if Arsenal win the Premier League, just imagine, it's been over 10 years now, and we pride ourselves that there's only one team in the Premier League from London which can actually contest for Premier League and win it if they want to, which is Chelsea. So for us now to look that impressive, it's starting to worry me, man. And the front three is, no, man. I can't believe I'm saying Arsenal is Premier League title contenders. I definitely can't believe it. And I think we have to talk about how good Arteta is now. Arteta, this is the season where Arteta is showing us that he was really a protege to Pep. Like you can see, okay, they're not playing the Manchester City football or the Barca football or the Bayern football, but then his own ideas on the team. And to believe that it's a young team which is doing that, which has so much confidence, which has so much leadership now in the pitch. And to see how Arteta has transformed Granit Xhaka into this responsible player. Like Xhaka now pulls on performance after performance. And that beautiful goal from Thomas Partey, African excellence, man. That goal, you know, when a player scores that kind of a goal, the team deserves to win. And again, man, we have to pick up Arsenal. Every player for Arsenal looks on point. Every player. There's no bad player today. I think other than the mistake Gabriel did for the penalty, committed for the penalty, there's no player from Arsenal I can say didn't perform. Like maybe Odegaard didn't have the best of games, but then he still was effective for that team. And we have to talk about Tottenham Hotspur with Conte. You know, there's this mysterious belief, I don't know where it's coming from, this weird vibe that with Conte in charge of Spurs, they'll finally win a trophy. I don't see it. I genuinely don't see it. I know Conte won't make it to the Champions League final. I can guarantee you that. I can bet on anything that Conte will make it to the Champions League final. I can't see them winning a Carabao Cup or an FA Cup, because we all know Pep will go for those. We know all Pep will try and win it all this season. And Chelsea is built for cup competitions. So again, I don't know where this belief that with Conte in charge, they have a better chance of winning something. They failed to win something with Mourinho. And you think Mourinho is the serial winner. Conte is also a serial winner, but then between the two of them, I think Mourinho is more established as a serial winner. So I don't know where this false belief and false hope and false narrative that Conte is actually going to win something with the Spurs team is coming from. Because the football is playing, they're not going to win anything. For me, I can bet on anything. Maybe it's the Chelsea in me talking, but then I don't see them winning anything. And it's surprising because I really thought Conte had a good transfer window, but then he's reluctant to use most of his signings. So it makes you wonder, was he the one buying the players or it was the club? Because for me, I think it's time Besoma starts. If Spurs are serious as title contenders or to try and go find the Champions League, it's time for Besoma to start, because we saw at Brighton that he's good at controlling midfielders. Like I said in my previous videos, he's like the Obi Mikel and SCN kind of player for me. I get that vibe when I watch him play. But then I guess Conte sees it differently, man. But I'm happy. I'm happy Arsenal. At least now Spurs have lost a match. We can stop with them being invisible and tough to beat under Conte, because they were easily defeated by Arsenal. And did you see after the red card? I mean, if I was a Spurs fan, I'd be fuming. How do you take out all the good players and put in like defenders and holding midfielders? You just allow, okay, it's 3-1 up, and it was about 20 minutes to go. Conte decides, no, let me just sit back with my 10 men and try and do damage control and don't make it worse than 3-1. I mean, for me, that was so negative from Conte. Yes, you can say he was 7th for the Champions League, but it's a derby. You'd expect them to throw everything. Rather be wide open and just go for it and try and make it maybe a 3-2 or even a 3-3. And then we can say, yes, Conte is a genius. But then for him to just sit back and allow defeat like that, nah, man, that was so poor game management from Conte. For me, personally, that was so poor from Conte. And then we have to talk about the Manchester derby. Sorry. I think it's sorry. Man United. That was so poor, man. That was so fun to watch. That for me, man, that was so fun to watch. To see City at their best. The Cyborg Halaand. Cyborg Halaand, Foden and De Bruyne. Those three are deadly now. Those three are lethal weapons for City. If any of those three gets on the ball, just know it's game over. I mean, Haaland is wow. And yet people were doubting Haaland. No, it's the Premier League, the toughest league in the world. He's not going to score many goals. He's going to find it difficulty. Pep doesn't like playing with the striker. Pep prefers a number 10 or a false 9. You see how he treated Eto'o, how he treated Zlatan. No, but that is over. No, Pep had a problem with Aguero. Aguero didn't really work around the Pep. Bro, this is Pep. If you wanted a player, he knew how he was going to use him. And Haaland is delivering, guys. Like, he's delivering beyond expectation. Like, some of us knew Haaland would get goals, but then not at this rate. Not 3 hat-tricks. 3 hat-tricks after 3 hat-tricks in a row. Like, 1, 2, 3 hat-tricks in a row. 9 goals in 3 matches. Like, that's just so crazy, bro. That's prime CR7 at Real Madrid. That's prime Messi at Barcelona. But I don't remember them having 3 hat-tricks in a row. That's just so, bro, like, this guy, Cyborg Haaland, this guy, and he did say, you know the fun part, he did say he can't wait to play against Man United. Okay, maybe it was because of what Roy Keane did with his dad, but then for him to say he can't wait to play for a team, and then he pulls up with a hat-trick, he could have got 4 or 5 goals. I just hope he doesn't say he can't wait to play against Chelsea, because I'd be worried now. Because that guy is explosive. For me, if City win the Champions League, unless if, let's say, Argentina win the World Cup, or Portugal win the World Cup, or France return the World Cup, if City win the Champions League with Haaland, then he's the Ballon d'Or winner for me. if he has that kind of impact in the Champions League as well, and City just dominate the Premier League and Champions League, they need to be Haaland for Ballon d'Or. He cannot, because the form he has now, and with Pep now, I think he's going to manage him proper to make sure that he's always fit. And the guy is so strong, defenders can't just kick him around. This is actually scary when you think about it. For the rest of the Premier League, with Liverpool this shaky, we can't rely on Arsenal to try and do something against City. And like I've been saying in my previous videos, I definitely think City will be invincible this season, because I don't see any team beating them, unless if maybe the whole team is hit by COVID and Pepe has to field the second team. I don't see this team losing to any team. I genuinely don't see them losing to any team. You might be seeing another invisible team right in front of our eyes, and this one is going to be a bit different from the best Arsenal team ever, because they'll be actually winning matches. They might win maybe 35 out of 38 or so. I genuinely can see this Pep City team doing it. And if you think about it, how many goals will Haaland get? I think we need to start a poll. We need to start every week. We need to start increasing the number, because the 32 goal mark set by Mohamed Salah a few seasons ago looks like he's going to break it any time now. Before even the World Cup, he might have broken it if he continues on this form. I mean, next match they have Southampton. So if he gets another hat-trick, there are 4 goals. How many goals has he got in a season already? And it's just 10 games in. Actually, it would be 9, because did they play the other game? I don't think so. It would actually be 9 or so. Man, we have to be worried now. But then as a football fan, you have to admire. Yes, people say Pep, yeah, he's built this team on money and it's money funding this team. At the same time, other big clubs, I mean, how much did Chelsea spend? How much has United spent over the years? So you can't really throw that at Pep, because he's been recruiting perfectly. And then we get into Manchester United. I have so many Man United friends. I can't wait for them to watch this, man. I have so many United fans, and you have to admire the courage of Ten Hag to go with that 3 midfielders. Scott, Eriksen. What's his name? Bruno Fernandes. Other than complaining to the ref, I don't see what Bruno did today. I mean, how do you play Scott, Eriksen, and Bruno versus Bernardo Silva, Kevin De Bruyne, and Gundogan? I mean, for City to dominate like that, honestly, I'll put my hands up. I didn't expect it. I thought maybe Man United had a fighting chance, because the counter under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was on point most of the time against City. But Pep came with a plan. Pep came with a genius plan. I mean, for him not to play his best defender and go with Akanji and Nathan Ake, for pace, to just nullify the pace from United, that was brilliant. And it shows that Pep backs every player he puts on the field. There's no player which Pep selects which he doesn't think is good enough to start for him. And today was proof that. I mean, the only disappointing thing for me as a football fan was United were not put on the sword with a 6-1 defeat or a 7 or 8 or even a 9 or a 10. I really wanted that huge scoreline. And a part of me was starting to reminisce about the why always me by Mario Balotelli, man. But we were talking about United. I can't stop talking about City now. I mean, for United, from a United perspective, man, that was so naive from Ten Hag. I think the spirit of Ole Gunnar was on him, and I don't really understand why he didn't start Casemiro. I can understand with the Ronaldo thingy, but then with Casemiro was built for this kind of matches. If you watch football for the past 10 years, in El Clasico, Casemiro was always a mainstay in that team. In any Champions League match where Madrid did well, when they won the title 3 times in a row, Casemiro was a mainstay. So for him not to be played in such a big team, then you go with Scott. Yes, Scott has been on form this season, but then at times you have to do what's best for the team. And for me, I think him not starting Casemiro was a huge blunder, man. Was a huge blunder. But I'm happy United were humbled. Like, I am happy United were humbled, because their fans are starting to believe in Ten Hag, not realizing that it's just an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tactic which he's been employing for the past 4-5 games. Sorry, I'm not saying yes. And you think Varane and Martinez have been held as a good partnership, but then, hey, we saw a different side to it, man. We saw it different against a good team, against a team like Pep, a team which is being coached by Pep, man. Hey, you can't you can't help but wonder, man. Hey, that was a brilliant weekend of football. And then we have to go into Chelsea. No, let's talk about Liverpool. Let's talk about the disaster Klopp is cooking, the Klopp crisis. We cannot ignore it, man. I didn't see this Liverpool struggling this season. I genuinely thought with the addition of Darwin Núñez, man, they just don't kick in. And now he's being put on the 80th minute to try and salvage something to get 3 points out of Brighton. I mean, Brighton deserved to win that game. I mean, Liverpool had 3-4 clear chances and they scored 2 of them and they got an own goal from the keeping error by Sanchez from Brighton. And you look at the chances Brighton had. They could have easily, if it wasn't for Alisson, they could have easily won that game 5-3 or 6-3. Liverpool are in shambles. Like, they are, this is now reminiscent of the Liverpool before Klopp took over. And this time around, we can't hear the excuses. No, our midfielders are injured. No, our defense is injured. I think the team that started today, this match for Liverpool, is the best team Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp can field at any given day. You had Matip, you had Van Dijk. Okay, Robertson wasn't there. And then you had Trent. The midfield was there. Fabinho was playing. You had Henderson was playing. Elliott was playing. The front three wait, let's think about it. That guy didn't start. Actually, the player was been informed when Liverpool didn't start. It came half time. Then it makes you wonder what Klopp was thinking. Because Núñez didn't play. What is his name? I'm forgetting his name, man. He also didn't start. It was Salah, Cavallo, and Firmino. Firmino was also in form. We'll give it to him that. But then Yoda didn't start. There's this guy. I'm forgetting his name. It will come to me. So you have to wonder now, what's wrong with Liverpool? Like, how does Klopp rectify this? Because his players are short on confidence, and you have to ask why. Why is it that they're short on confidence? Not like they ended the season badly last season. They're on fire. It's better to just kick in and continue doing what they're doing. And I'm starting to not believe that it's the money factor. Because yes, money is such a huge miss. Any team would miss money, but then there's more to it now. There's definitely more to it now. And I think this is a team to watch out for this season, to see how they perform. Because if Klopp fails to get top 4, that's a failure. That's a failure of a season for him. And the way they're playing now, you can't see them going any deep into the Champions League. Unless if Klopp manages to turn it around, man. I worry for Liverpool. Not that I worry as a Liverpool fan, but then I'm happy as a Chelsea fan. But again, I worry for them as a team would want to see well and play this rock and roll football and break down teams. I wish Chelsea could have played that Liverpool back then, because maybe we would have got something. And then we have to mention Brighton, man. I mean, losing Graham Potter and getting a new coach, and they still perform like that. That's testament to the players and Trossard, and for him to get a hat-trick at Anfield. For me, I haven't seen, I genuinely haven't seen a player get a hat-trick at Anfield. So it was a first timer for me. Of course, you get to know the history. We got an African, surprisingly, Peter Ndlovu, who got a hat-trick there. But then, to actually see a player get a hat-trick from a team that, it wasn't a lucky hat-trick where he just gets a squandering chance and then somehow he ends up at the back of the net. It was good goals from him. So to see him do that, and I had Chelsea in for him. I'm not surprised, because they don't need the creativity and the midfielder can actually score goals for a change. Speaking about Chelsea, let's talk about them. Gallagher steals it against Patrick Vieira, man. I have a soft spot for Crystal Palace. As a Chelsea fan, I have a soft spot for them. Black Excellency. I always want Black Excellency to prevail. But then, the way they lost that game, they didn't deserve to lose it like that. But then, from a Chelsea perspective, man, Oba is off the mark. That was a striker's goal. What we've been missing for the past season and a half, really, we got it from Oba. That was an instinctive goal. A striker who knows the back of the net. He knows how to score goals. And that goal was not a typical chance. If that was Havertz, Timo Werner, or even Lukaku, I don't think they would have scored that goal. So it's good to see that he's off the mark and his confidence will be up now. And I think we need to pick up points. Despite us not playing good, we need to continue picking up points. And then hopefully we will start gaining momentum and make sure that we hunt down that top 4 spot. We try to go for the Spurs position, because Arsenal for me right now is a bit far ahead of us. So yeah, that was a good result from Chelsea. And then we have to talk about other results. Newcastle surprised me, man. I didn't see Fulham being humble like that. what's his name? Almiron goal. That Almiron first goal, man. That was a sweet strike. And I mean, Newcastle are living up to the billing now. Damn, they are living up to the billing. For them to actually it was a 1-4 in favor of Newcastle. Newcastle defeating Fulham by 4-1. I mean, for them to humble Fulham like that, and Newcastle an away team, that was so brilliant, man. That was brilliant. I have to give it up to the coach, man. That was Howe really is building a team difficult to play. And Chelsea, our history versus Newcastle away from home. I'm actually scared to play them away from home. And it'll be interesting to see how they'll play in Arsenal, how they'll play maybe a Manchester United, how they'll play Chelsea now, because they are a dangerous team to play against now. And then we quickly jump onto my legend, Frank Lampard. Man, Lampard is on a roll. Hey, Lampard in Iwobi for me. If they continue in this form, they deserve the player of the month and the coach of the month award, man. Lampard is on a roll. I didn't see Lampard winning 2-1 against Southampton. For Lampard to get a bit away from home. And Ashley Cole is his assistant, man. So Chelsea through and through. Man, that's a brilliant. I'm happy for Lampard. I am happy for Lampard. And I hope they do the job against Manchester United in the next game week. Lampard, if ever you watch this, man, please do us proud. We love when United loses. And then another result, Aston Villa versus Leeds United. Aston Villa had 10 men pretty much of the second half, but they failed to utilize it. And with the talent Gerrard has, I'm starting to believe that Lampard is a better coach than Gerrard. Because if you had given Lampard that kind of talent and backing Gerrard has, I think Lampard would be far off better than Gerrard. I mean, Aston Villa, they created chances, but then they're not clinical. And you think they've Ings, they've Oli Watkins, they've continued. They expect them to actually be pushing for those top positions, like the top 7, top 8, top 9. But then for them to get a draw against 10 men, the match of second half, that was a poor showing from Aston Villa. I'll say that. Maybe we can cut them some slack that way away from home, and that actually is a good point. But then play against 10 men, I don't think it's a good point. I think it's actually 2 points dropped. And then you talk about Bournemouth and Brentford, a 0-0 draw. I didn't see it being a 0-0, if I'm being honest. I thought maybe Brentford would get a couple of goals in, Ivan Toney will step up and show to get it to Southgate that he does deserve to start for England at some point. But then it was a 0-0 draw, uninspiring 0-0. I didn't watch most of the match. I only caught the highlights, so I won't be commenting much on it. But then I expected, a part of me thought maybe Brentford, with the form they're on, they would actually win the match. And then you also got another 0-0 draw. Oh, I've spoken about it already, the Leeds and Aston Villa. And then which other team? Oh yes, we do have a match tonight. We have a match, Nottingham Forest versus Leicester City. Again, I think I'll be holding the lighter up if Brendan Rodgers loses to Nottingham Forest. If Brendan Rodgers loses this match to Nottingham Forest, I don't see how he survives the card. I think he might be gone. So it's up to Leicester this game week. It's up to Leicester this match really for them to get something. It is up to Leicester. But I hope Brendan Rodgers doesn't get fired, because he's done well for Leicester. I mean, he won the FA Cup against Chelsea. That was massive for them. So I don't know. I hope he doesn't get fired. Actually, I think this league needs him at his best. Him to actually try and fight again to get that Europa position. But if he doesn't get a victory today, or if he loses this match to Nottingham Forest, a collection of players, 21 players signed by Forest, if he loses this game, then I think it's night for Rodgers, man, for Brendan Rodgers, man. Guys, this has been fun. Talking about United and Spurs losing has been fun. We have Champions League football coming up Tuesday and Wednesday. And then, of course, the Europa, Man United's Europa and Arsenal's Europa take over Thursday in Conference League with West Ham. So I'll be definitely giving you a preview of those games, and also a review after the Champions League nights. Then we also get to see the likes of Barca, Bayern, Real Madrid, which drew. I forgot which team they're playing. And then also get to see the PSG with Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. And Messi has been looking sharp, so it's actually going to be fun to watch this Champions League round of fixtures, man. But again, man, next week we have the Liverpool Arsenal game. I can't wait to preview that match, man. To preview that match. This game week 9 has been fire. For me to say it's been fire has been an understatement. We saw some couple of hatricks, saw some teams being humbled, some supporters leaving the ground end of first half, man. This was a fun game week. I love football. Football is it's a gift that keeps on giving, man. And we can't help but smile if you're a football fan like me, man. Anyway, guys, this has been fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for the new few subscribers and people who have been checking out the content, man. I'll continue to drop more content and hopefully it will get better with time, with age, man. But other than that, thank you for the support. I love you. Don't forget to like and subscribe and like and subscribe the video and the channel, man. Stay tuned for more content. This is Ronald, I'm your host, signing out. Cheers.